Yeah, Sunday, yeah. Hey, I'm back in my bag, I know they missing me. Ay, you know I go hard until they finish me. Ay, I wake up and grind, they try to limit me. Highway to heaven, you know we run high intensity. That's right. I'm back in my bag, I know they missing me. Ay, you know I go hard until they finish me. Ay, I wake up and grind, they try to limit me. Highway to heaven, you know we run high intensity. Sundays with Justin, Mondays we hustling, Tuesdays still training, by Wednesday it's draining, shot wet like it's raining. It's not though, try to knock me off my pivot, I'm straight to the block though. I can't do no pump fake, still watch out for the block though. I'm not your average player, I'm all-star status. Give all y'all answers, not no ball hog, bastard jump shot, look synthetic, but it's all natural. Body full of ice like I got back from.
What's up, y'all? It's Coach Justin. We're here at the Sit Down Podcast. We have a very, very special guest, Khadija. How's it going?
I am good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for coming down. So let's jump straight into it. Let's tell us about young Khadija, born and raised, and how it was for you growing up and things like that.
Young Khadija. I think that's what some of y'all know me. Young Khadija. Young Khadija. Originally, from Antioch, born in Berkeley, raised in Antioch, lived in Richmond for a couple of my early years, and born of immigrant parents. My parents are Nigerian, so if you kind of know that background, really tough, disciplined,
Strict?
Very strict parents.
I see like the Twitter online social media jokes about Nigerian parents.
Yeah, they don't play. Like,
really?
They not playing that.
That's interesting.
My parents, and I'm the youngest, so my parents were not playing that.
Oh, so you had it bad, huh?
Yeah. By the time they got to me, they kind of just already knew how things should be. So they were very tough on me. And
so how many siblings?
That's such a vague question.
How many siblings is a vague question?
Well, just because, explain that to people is my family dynamic. My dad was married before my mom, so my dad had 5 kids before, and then with my mom 4 kids. So yeah.
So 9 total for pops.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So really.
Are you close with your siblings?
I'm close with all of them.
That's dope.
Very
That's fire.
close.
Family is important, man, especially when you guys are close and it's not toxic.
I tell people family's all I got. Oh yeah, I'm happy I don't got no family drama and anything like that.
That's dope. That's a blessing. So yeah, talk. Obviously, you're an athlete. Talk to us about how you got into athletics and stuff like that.
Yeah, so my brother, it actually started by my sister. My sister ran track at Deer Valley.
How much older is she than you?
She's 7 years older than me. 7 years older than me. And then my brother was running track, and he was in high school when I was in high school. So when I was a freshman, was it a freshman? No, when I was a sophomore, he was a senior. Mm-hmm. So he was really great at it. So you feel me? So I was like, let me try it too. If he has these genetic genes and he's great at it, let me figure out and see what I can do. And then he got a scholarship to Cal Berkeley. So I was like, what? You don't got to pay for college? Really about to take this serious. So, or he may have been my freshman year. He may have been a senior. I think that's what it was. My freshman year, he was a senior. And so I just went out for the track team my freshman year, and I got put on varsity. And that wasn't really my first time, actually. When I lived in Nigeria, I ran track out there. So
wait, you lived in Nigeria?
Yeah.
Wow, for how long?
2 years.
How old were you?
Time. I did 7th and 8th grade out there.
Really? How was that?
It was an adjustment. I will say that. I actually didn't even know my parents were sending me out there. You getting all the tea.
Well, yeah. Now you got me intrigued now over here. So wait, how did this come about?
So we're gonna go back to young Khadija.
Yeah, we're
young
definitely
Khadija
going back to young Khadija. You just tried to skip over that.
Young Khadija was, I was a tall, skinny black girl. People talk shit about tall, skinny black girls, and I was African at that time, so a lot of people talked a lot of shit.
Yeah, this is before it was cool to be African.
Before it was cool, so exactly, I had to defend myself. So my parents didn't see it as me defending myself; they just saw it as me being problematic. I was getting in fights. I was just very troublesome. I'll say that, and so
I can't even picture you like that. That's hilarious.
That's why a lot of people say that. Yeah,
obviously, I met you later in life.
Yeah,
but
yeah, definitely. Very troublesome, getting suspended, detention, all that stuff, whatever. So 7th grade, my parents were like, you're going to go to your grandma's party in Nigeria. And I was going with my uncle. I wasn't thinking much of it. Next thing I knew, I did not have a return flight. I'll tell you that.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm serious. I did not have a return ticket.
How long are you there before you realize you're not going back?
I think maybe a week. Maybe a week I realized.
That long?
Yeah, I think a little bit like that.
And, okay, so take me, again, as much as you can remember, but take me back to that moment. How the fuck are you processing that?
I think during the flight. I had an idea just because of shit I was packing. And I think also like just conversations of my parents using to like threatening me that they were going to send me there when I was younger. I think I had an idea, but I wasn't sure until like my aunt that I was staying with, they were like, no, you're staying. I was like, no. And then like my parents were like, yeah, you are staying. And so I was like, that's when I really was like, oh shit, I'm really staying. And so, yeah, I did boarding school. I love the boarding school though. Like I went to
in Nigeria.
I went to international boarding school. So I went to boarding school with like top of the line kids. Like all my friends were governors and presidents' children and stuff like that. So like they were filthy rich. Like they thought I was rich because I came from America, but I was like, no, my parents are just hardworking people. Like they were filthy rich people. And so,
so who are you living with?
I was living with my aunt
in Nigeria, and for 2 years.
Yeah, like a year and 8 months.
Were you like rebelling?
No, not out there.
How different is school out there than it is from here?
Oh, they don't play about education. Very serious. Like they put you in positions. So if you take like let's say there's 30 people in the class, there's positions 1 through 30. So if you take
you're ranked.
last, yeah, you're ranked. So if you take last, like they laugh at you in front of the school and everything. So my first year, I took like third to last or something like that. So it was so embarrassing. So it made me like get on my game for my next semester. Like, cause you
really,
know, so they take education very seriously.
Were you a good student before then?
Educationally wise, no, I really wasn't.
So this is kind of what shifted you into becoming a better student.
Yeah.
Were you a good student when you came back?
Yeah, definitely
That's
was. Like I paid more attention because I knew I had to be on my game. I knew what I wanted to do in life and stuff like that. Well, I had a semi idea of what I wanted to do.
That early?
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, okay, so you go to Nigeria, you come back. Okay, you try to just gloss over that. So now that we're back into the story, so you're into track at this point or no?
Yes.
Okay.
So I had ran, we had like in Nigeria, we had this thing called inter-house sports. So I'd ran that a little bit. So I knew I could run. And so like I was saying, when my brother got a scholarship, I went out for track and field and I was really great. They put me on varsity and yeah, that's kind of how that went.
As a freshman, and this is at Deer Valley? And what at this point, do you already know which races you're running and all of that? Or do you kind of learn that as you go? Because I don't really know how track works. Like,
funny thing is, the coach had me doing hurdles. He was like, "You're tall. You're going to be a hurdle. You're going to do the hurdles." So I actually did like the 300 hurdles. What's it called? 300? Yeah, 300 hurdles and 110.
What is 110?
110 is 110 meters.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah. So, damn, varsity as a freshman, are you like getting smoked or are you winning?
Nah, I'm up there.
Really?
Yeah.
That young? Yeah. Really? So was your brother good too? Obviously, he went to Cal.
He was a jumper. Yeah, he was good. He was really great.
That's what's up. So did you used to go to his track meets and all that? You remember all of that stuff?
Yeah.
Was the whole family kind of into?
No, my parents worked too hard, so they were never really out there.
Really? What did they think about athletics? Like, was it just like something to do, or did they
really
think
didn't care for it? They really until they realized that my brother was getting a scholarship, and they started to be like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna pay a little bit more attention to me." Yeah.
When you say they're strict, are they like, you got to go to college, you got to graduate college? Really? Did your parents graduate from college?
My dad did it. My mom went to community college.
Out here?
Yeah.
How long have they been in the States?
My sister's like 35. They've been out here maybe like 38 years.
Also a little bit before they had their first kid together? Does your dad have kids still in Nigeria?
Yeah, he has like 3 out there.
Really? So you have siblings in Nigeria? How often do you go back?
The last time I went was 2019. Before that, I went like 2018, 2017. And then I'm going this year, so as much as I can.
Do you like it out there?
I love it.
Could you see yourself moving there?
Hell yeah.
Really?
If I go in December, I might not be coming back. I swear to God.
Amazing. That's dope, though. I've never been out there. I want to go out.
No, I really suggest like everyone should just like experience Africa. And really, I'm an advocate for Nigeria, but really just Africa. Like it's home. Like you step in there, it's really just feel like home as long as you know how to navigate things.
What do you mean by that?
You know, unfortunately, you know, African people, they can somebody want to take advantage of people, like, you know, hustle you out of money, like tell you little things like, yo, this costs this much when it really don't, but they gonna try and hustle you. So, you know, you just have to know how to move and navigate out there.
I think that's a lot of tourists.
Yeah.
Like a lot of, and I guess you respect it because the natives are hustling. So
yeah.
It is what it is. That's interesting though. I guess I could see myself living out there.
It's home.
In Africa. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I've never been, so I would have to. And then I'm like a picky eater, so it's like a couple different variables that goes into that.
Yeah, you might have to adjust to the food out there. Or you can like find, there's restaurants, like they have like Asian cuisine, they have like Mexican, they have Lebanese food, so it really just depends.
That's what's up, man. So how when you come back from, and I'm just thought about this question, but when you come back from Nigeria, was it like, when you went there, was it like a culture shock at all? Oh, go ahead.
When I went, there was a culture shock because, you know, my only perception I had is what the people was showing on TV. You know, the kids, the bellies, the flies. Like, I knew it just as much as anybody else. So, you know, I was like, but I think I adjusted really well. But the shock for me was being away from my family. Like, I'm in the 7th or 8th grade. I don't know how old you were at that point. I think you're like, what? Like 12, 11. So I was away from my family, like just living with a bunch of kids and stuff like that. The school was good. So I really did appreciate that. I think they did a good job adjusting me and stuff. But the culture shock was just, you know, I was young. I had never been away from my family. That's really what it was to me. But other than that, I adapted really well.
That's good, especially that you can look back in hindsight and say that. Because some people, that could be like a traumatic experience for them. You know,
I mean, that's how I tell people. What don't kill you only make you stronger.
Yeah,
so I feel like I tell people I can live anywhere. That's why I was able to go to Mississippi and live. Like,
yeah,
I didn't live in the slums. Too. Like, I lived everywhere.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't imagine living in Mississippi. So at what point do you realize that you're good in track? Is it off the bat in high school?
When the coaches started paying me extra attention. So I'm like, yo, this coach is paying me attention. So I think
is this his freshman year or this is
freshman year.
So you came in hot.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Like, how do you get better at track? That's always a question.
Just setting better personal records.
So just getting faster.
Yeah.
But how do you do that? You just run more gets you faster?
Yeah, running harder, training, you know, beating yourself at practice, beating other people at practice.
Mechanics,
getting used to the time.
stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Tighten up on things like that, like you said, mechanics.
So I know how basketball recruitment works, but talk to me a little bit about how the track, like, are you getting letters this early?
No, I wasn't. Okay, so you know what? I was good. But I'm not going to be like I was top in line good that I was getting letters my freshman, sophomore. I didn't start getting letters, honestly, until I think my senior year. I don't even think my junior year. I didn't have an idea. Really my senior year. Like, and another thing was, I'll be so frank, my grades weren't all that. Like, my grades were not all that. So it was just like.
Why do you think that is? Because obviously you're very intelligent.
I messed up my freshman year. I actually didn't compete my freshman year. I really fucked up. I fucked up so bad my freshman year. I don't know if I was just like skipping, hanging the people I was hanging out with, but I did not do well at all my freshman year. And so.
So you came back from Nigeria still cutting off?
Yeah.
Really?
Educational wise, you know.
But your behavior got better?
Maybe overall. Maybe slightly. Maybe not at all. Because the funny part is I got sent back to Africa.
Really?
Yo, yes. Okay, so you probably think I'm crazy. I got sent back to Africa the second time. So second time I did half of 10th and half of 11th grade.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it again? Is a behavior thing?
Yeah.
Were any of your siblings like this, or were you the only child that was like, really?
None of them ever went to Africa.
And where are you at in the?
I'm the youngest.
Wow. Why do you think that is? Were you acting out because of? Because I asked that question because I feel like sometimes parents get older, and when they get older, they're not as attentive to the younger kids. So sometimes the younger kids act out a little bit more. Is that kind of your case?
I don't think I craved attention. I just wanted to do things and my parents weren't letting me do it. Like, I wanted to go out to parties. I went to this and they used to be like, no. Like, it was the strictness in the African parents. And if they tell me no, I was probably going to still do it if I wanted to.
Really? So you were like sneaking out and stuff?
Yeah.
Wow.
That sounds so terrible.
No, I mean, it's more common than not. I mean, with kids. I mean, I'm going to have a teenager in the next, like, 5 years, so I'm just processing all of that. But so any of your siblings, like, none of them had that in them? Damn. So were you like the black sheep of the family?
Definitely.
Really?
I know.
And how is it now? Like, do they still treat you like that, or are you like
now?
Really? So you're like the little princess now, huh?
I'm the goat.
Yeah, that's hilarious. After freshman year, you get sent back to Africa. How was that? So now you're in high school out there.
Yeah.
Was that different?
So that time I went to day school out there, and I lived in a whole different city. It was cool. I already knew how it worked and stuff like that. So for me, it was cool.
Did they like sneak it on you this time again, or did you know you?
Yeah, they did.
They tricked you again.
I had ideas too that time. I was more so like, I know what the fuck these motherfuckers doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you pissed, or it was like whatever?
Yeah, of course I was pissed. You know, I had my friends. I have friends out here. I think so much then I was caring about my friends. Like, I just want to hang out with my friends. I was calling my friends and telling them like, yo, call the school, tell them my parents sent me out of my will and stuff like that.
Oh, wow,
like,
that's hilarious.
So crazy.
And you were going to Deer Valley at the time?
Yes. And so when I came back the final time, I went to Antioch High.
Really?
Yeah. So my parents were like, you're not going to Deer Valley? You know, I think Deer Valley's like changed, or it had changed from initially. Like, it was just, that school was just worried about all the wrong things. Like, you know, what you had on. It was a lot going on at that school. So my parents changed me and I was happy. You know, I was grateful for it. Yeah. Overall, I really wish I stayed. Like, I tell people, like, I would send my kids to boarding school in Nigeria, or even just school in Nigeria. Because how the school system is set up, especially like boarding school, you're there from first grade up until your senior year. So it's like 12 years of, creating bonds and friendships and these people becoming your family for 12 freaking years. And so looking back when I see all my friends now and just seeing how tight they are and still close, I wish I just stayed all my years and just did that through. And it's just like, it's a different level of like, education, discipline, morals, all those things overboard. So I think I always look back, I was like, I was so in a rush to get back and be in America and all my friends, but reality, like that stuff really didn't matter. Like,
because I went to middle school here in Oakland, and I went to high school in Pleasanton, which is not that far difference, but it's two different worlds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like so I kind of know what you mean by like up, but it was kind of my decision to go out there, so it's a little different. But I just couldn't imagine going to another country. And then so boarding school, you live at the school, really? So it's like dorms and everything. Wow, that's crazy. How many were there? Like people from all different countries there?
Yeah, definitely. I had like another friend that was there from America, another homegirl that was there from London. Of course, majority of the people were people from Nigeria, but it was an international school, so people from all over would send their kids there. Like if it was people that were diplomats. So let's say they were UK citizens, but they were doing business or trade in Nigeria, they'd send their children to those schools.
That makes sense.
Yep.
So this is a pristine.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Definitely is. It was the former president of Nigeria. His wife owned the school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Was it free?
Hell no. My parents paying college tuition for me.
Wow. That young.
Yeah.
Damn. So not only are you an inconvenience as far as behavior, you're costing them more money too.
I know. So terrible.
They love you though, at least. They didn't disown you.
Yeah, definitely.
So when you come back to Antioch High, now I don't think I knew that about you. So was that like going against the grain, because are they like rivals, Antioch and Deer Valley?
Yeah, supposedly. Antioch's like the city school, and Deer Valley like the cool school. You go. Yeah,
so it's like a
little dusty.
So how was that having to go there? Were you pissed?
Yeah, I was like, why y'all got me at this school? These dirty ass schools. School's so dirty.
Did you run track and stuff there?
Yeah, I had a amazing coach. Like great coach. Like Coach Zeno, that's my dog. Like he really, really honed in on me and like showed me what I was capable of, and like definitely like a father figure. Like I would say he definitely molded me into like the person I am and like made me believe more so in myself and like showed me what I was capable of doing and what the future could hold for me in track.
And then, so at this point, are your grades getting better?
Yeah. So definitely getting better. Because I knew I'm going to college. I have to go to college. It's not an option.
So now you're trying to now you're using, okay, I know track is going to get me to college. Do you feel like that at that point?
Yep.
And so where are some of your first letters coming from?
So local schools, Dominguez Hills, Northridge. No, you went to Dominguez Hills, right? But for me, I'm saying local schools. It was all in California. But in reality, I always knew I wanted to be out of state. I
went out of state initially, so I agree with you. I didn't want. Yeah, I went to New Mexico State out of high school.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I ended up going to a national JUCO for hoop and then coming back to LA.
Okay, I didn't know that. Sacramento, CSU, SAC, San Jose.
I had offers from all the local
schools,
but I think so I know what you mean.
Yeah, I think those were the schools.
I refuse. I wanted to, like, again, me, and this might be, you might be able to attest to this too. Me going to Pleasanton and seeing that difference made me want to see more. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to be even close to Oakland when I decide my school. So I went to school in New Mexico, and then after I didn't get cleared by the clearinghouse and all that bullshit, so then I transferred to a national JUCO, but it was in Nebraska. So then I was in Nebraska for a little while.
How were you in Nebraska for?
2 years.
A little while.
Yeah, right.
2 years, Nebraska.
Yep. So then I came back. I was in LA for a minute, like in the IE at a JUCO, and then I ended up at Dominguez Hills.
Okay.
But but I say that to say me, I wanted to go away and meet new people and see. Is that kind of why you wanted to go away?
I went to go away because my sister went away. She went to Tennessee State University, and she just had freedom, and I wanted freedom. You know.
Is that at HBCU?
Okay. I wanted that freedom. I wanted to be away from home.
I feel you. I think that played a part in mine as well. Yeah. You went, so out of high school, you went where?
Out of high school, I actually went to JUCO. I went to Laney. And so
why Laney from out there?
Because they had a great coach. They had Curtis Taylor.
For track.
So my track coach was like, you need to go to be with Curtis Taylor.
So were you commuting from out there?
He was like, they have the #1 track and field program in the nation. So I was like, okay, yeah, I want to go over there. I seen all the people that he sent off to good colleges, and so I was like, okay.
Were you winning? Like, so at this point, as a senior, what races are you running?
Oh, I'm winning everything. BVL championships, NorCal. I think like NorCal won, and then when I went to state, at state I took like 7th.
Really? But what event are you doing though?
100 and 200.
So now you're sprinting.
Yeah.
So at what point did you make that change from hurdles to sprinting?
I think 11th grade. 11th grade when I got with Coach Zeno, he was like, "This is what you're gonna do." Of course, you know when you're in high school, they're having you get points. So like how the system works for track, you have like league meets. Your league meets are always on Wednesdays. Then you have like your invitationals that were on Saturdays, and so usually at your league meets you want to gain points. So they had me doing the hurdles too. Still, even though that wasn't my priority, I was still doing the hurdles just to get league points so we could win.
Oh wow! So so. How was the dynamic change from obviously running in high school now and at the collegiate level? Was it a big difference?
Yeah, it was. Like they weren't playing. Coach, like, you know, we had our classes at this point. It was our having multiple classes a day. It was, weight training, so much more heavier weight training, heavier practices. I'm talking about Saturday practices. I guess at high school I still had Saturday practices, but I'll never forget. Was it Wednesdays? Wednesdays and Saturdays were our hard days, and we had straight leg bounds, and on Saturdays we had sleds, and I used to be like, I wanted to quit every goddamn day. Like, I ain't never seen a workout like this. Like, it was the worst workout ever in my life. You couldn't pay me to do that stuff ever again. I don't know how I got into shape, but it whipped my ass into shape. So my first track meet, I PR'd by significantly. I can't remember
what is that,
exactly.
personal record?
Yeah, personal record. I can't exactly remember. I think in college in high school I was like 11.7. I want to say 11.7, right? Yeah, 11.7. 11.8, 11.7. My first track meet with Curtis, I got down to 11.5, which is a huge gap. So I was like, okay, what he's doing is working.
So
that built my confidence right up. That was my first track meet.
And then did you kind of keep at that, or?
Did I keep at that? Yeah, I kind of kept around that. Yeah, I guess I peaked kind of early too. That now I think about it, but yeah, peaked around.
But are you winning running these races, or?
Yeah, I'm still winning.
Oh, that's what's up. So did you do 2 years at Laney or one?
Yep, 2 years.
So okay, so after your first year, are you getting letters and stuff like that? Are you getting recruited from 4-year schools already?
No, not first year, not till second year. I don't know what it is. I guess they probably want to wait it out, but not by first year I wasn't. Second year definitely was.
Did you make a huge jump from first year to second year as far as your speed?
I think second year. Honestly, I can't recall. I think I was consistent throughout the years. Like, it was still consistency. So I think that's what mattered. And then I was on a really great team, like a team that we were winning national championships for JUCO and stuff like that. So I think that was really like a contributing factor too. And then the coach himself, he had a lot of relationships and just knew a lot of people.
That's always important.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to moving on to another school. I always tell my kids that it's like, bro, you want to go play for a coach that knows people, because it makes the recruiting process a little bit more simple. You know what I mean? So talk about the second year. Like, are you still like, going out and partying and stuff at this point?
What do you think? I'm joking. I'm a social person. Hell yeah, I was still living life. I wasn't letting it stop me. I think I had a really good balance still. Like, and I'm pretty sure if I would have cut it out, I probably, only God knows how much more growing up would have been. But I think, it was a good balance for me. I was still living like, I'm sure that's around the time I probably like met you, maybe like I don't know if it was high school or
I don't remember either. It's always a blur for me because I've been knowing people for so long. You know what I mean? It's like it's hard to remember exactly.
I got bad memory.
Same here, yeah. And same here. So it's hard to remember. That's what me and Kev was just talking about. But so still partying whenever. But I think we all did that though, because I was the same way. I mean, I worked out a lot, but I went out all the time. I
used to have to practice. Like, people like, Khadija, you and I yesterday? Oh yeah, like that. I'm still gonna get this workout in.
Right. That's all that matters, man. You gotta have balance. Yeah. So now your second year. How was that? Like, now it's probably now. Are you feeling pressure from your parents as far as getting to the 4 year and stuff?
No, I knew it was gonna come. Like, no pressure whatsoever. Damn, I don't even know when I started getting offers. But yeah, no pressure whatsoever. I was kind of used to the system and how he trained and worked out things. So I just kind of knew at this point it's a job. Like, I'm showing up to my job and I know what I got to do. So that's really how it was.
That makes sense. So Okay, so sophomore year at Laney, are you guys still dumb nice?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So at what point you mentioned earlier that you knew early what you wanted to do? Like at that point, is it what you ended up doing? Or
Well, what I meant, like, I knew I had to go to college because my parents wasn't paying
got you.
that shit.
Okay.
So I knew, like, I had to go to college.
got you.
That's what
So
I
you didn't know
knew.
what you wanted to do for a living?
No.
Got you.
Definitely did not.
Okay. At what point? You don't have to say what it is yet because we'll get to that in the story. But at what point did that come?
That I knew what I wanted to do?
Yeah.
Last week.
Hey,
That's why I'm here. I'm joking. I can't claim my throne. No, but I feel like I tell people all the time, like, I changed my major two times in college. I went to go get my master's to buy myself a little bit more time to still figure out what I want to do. So I feel like as I'm growing as an individual, that's changing for me. Like, you know, I'm figuring out what I do and I don't like.
I'm the same way, man. People always ask me, like, what do you do for a living? And I hate that fucking question.
I hate it too. I tell people I live.
Yeah, I'm just being Justin, man. Whatever I feel like in that moment, that's what I'm going to do. Especially because I'm self-taught with most of the shit that I do professionally now anyway. It's like now I'm teaching myself how to, like, get the audio shit, like, more crisp. You know what I mean? And with the internet, you can learn anything whenever you feel like it. So how did you went to Ole Miss, right? How did that kind of come? Like, what made you do that, make that decision?
It may have been my first offer that I wanted because I think I had, at that time, again, I started to get a couple offers from, like, Central Florida. I knew I didn't want to go to Central Florida because they were an all-girls team. Ole Miss was the first, like, official visit that I took. And I'm like, I didn't even know what the hell Ole Miss was. I'm telling my friends, they like, you never watched that movie? What was it? The Blind Side? Right. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember The Blind Side or whatever. So I took my visit there and it was like my first college experience. So imagine, like, you know, me, I'm seeing a big college stadium. I'm seeing basketball teams, football teams. I'm like, yo, this is away from home. I'm like, yo, this is cool. Like, I get all these clothes. Coach pulls me into his office like, yeah, you see this? These are my championship rings. Like, but he was at Florida. He got all those rings at Florida. But he was like, this is my plan to get all these rings here for you. He's like, you see all this? You can get all this. Like, he really brought me in and sold me. He sold me a dream and I bought it. So by the time I took all my other visits, I was like, not really worried. I took a visit to South Carolina. I was in the talks with Oregon. Central Florida had already offered me, didn't want to go there. I knew that. Those are the only ones I can recall that I was like semi still interested in or whatever. But
So you didn't commit on your visit?
No, I didn't commit on my visit. He flew back down to my parents' house again to persuade me as well. So he was very persistent.
That's what's up.
He was a good coach, though. Don't get me wrong. I think he was part of the reason I committed to the school. He was a good coach.
How was that move going from California to Mississippi?
I think, like I said earlier, I can adapt into any situation. So what I thought about, what he kind of sold me on, he was like, you could be a big fish in a small pond. So he was like, he could build his program out around me. So, you know, I'm like, oh, that sounds good. I'm like, then it's a small school. So it's like, I can focus on what I need to, not be too distracted by all the other typical things that would be at a university. So I was really good on that.
That's what's up, man. As you're talking, I know you probably see me like spacing out, but I'm just recalling like your point in your story. I'm like recalling my time at that.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, cause I like my visit to New Mexico State. I took all my visits as well. I went to I had a lot of local offers as well. I knew I didn't want to go, but when I got to New Mexico State, I knew I was committing there.
Yeah,
damn near before I went. Like I knew, but what I liked about my coach Menzies was another great dude, man. It's one of the best people I've ever met in my life. He wouldn't accept my commitment on the visit because he was like, "I want you to think about it.
That's good.
Don't rush into this." You know, and I was, I like I said, my mind was made up. So how was partying in Mississippi? Because I'm not going to ask you where you're still partying at that point.
That shit was lame.
Really?
Like the movies, like I thought it was gonna be. It was Mississippi. It was segregated.
Really?
Unfortunately, like I would think, like, you know how the movies be, like all the football players. I mean, like the white and the blacks. No, it was the black people just partying.
Really? That's
we have
interesting.
like the college. It's a college town, of course. So we have like all the bars, like any other school would have, and the bars are just predominantly white people. So it was just all white people.
So what did the black people party?
We did a lot of house parties. We had this place called the Lyric. We would be in the bars, sprinkled a little bit and stuff like that.
So what city is this in Mississippi?
Oxford, Mississippi.
Oxford, Mississippi.
Really
is it, so that's a small town?
Yeah.
What's the closest big city?
Memphis.
Tennessee?
Yeah. So I would have to fly into Memphis Airport and then drive like an hour and a half out to get to
really?
Oxford.
Did you go to Memphis often?
Yeah, my roommate, my first year was from Memphis, so she would take me out there with her.
Wow, I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
Were most of the black people in the school the athletes? Or was there a lot of black just
There was a lot of local black people from Mississippi that were there.
So were the fans like diehard fans?
Yeah, definitely.
They're really. Are you like a diehard Ole Miss fan?
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
It's cool. I support my school and stuff like that and stuff, but I'm not a diehard like.
Yeah. So how was it translating as far as on the track field? Like, are you winning there too? Is it more serious now? Even
more serious. You heard about the Southeastern Conference?
No. Well, of course.
SEC, them boys.
I know.
Not playing. They was lighting up ass. Very competitive. It took a lot of adjusting. So definitely, like my first year, he redshirted me. So then I competed my second and third year. So I did 3 years there, but of course I redshirted my first year ever. So a lot of training.
How was that? Were you with that, or were you against that at first? Or
I understood what he was trying to do. He was bringing in people. He wanted to redshirt all of us so that our next year that we could be a really great team.
Did it happen like that?
Is that what he got like? No, it didn't. Because I tried transferring after my first year.
Really? Why?
It just wasn't the team, the atmosphere of the people around. Like, if I'm giving my all to something, I expect everybody else to give it also. It's like when you're a part of a team, you want everybody else to see the common goal at hand. Like, we all trying to win a championship, so it can't just be me trying to win a championship. And so as for them, like, a lot of people on the team were just showing up just to show up. They ain't really, they weren't passionate track like how I was.
Did this passion grow over time?
Definitely grew over time. Definitely when I got into the SEC, because like, who wants to get their ass beat?
Right.
I got to train hard. I'm rolling with the big dogs now.
So where were you thinking about going?
I was talking to Texas Tech, FSU, Oregon. They wouldn't release me. Ole Miss wouldn't release me.
Really? So you really tried to get out of there?
I tried to leave every year I was there.
Really? Why? You speak so highly of the coach. Was it just the environment?
So after my first year redshirted, I was just like, I was seeing what was going on. I was like, no. He persuaded me. He was like, stay. So I stayed. Second year, he got fired. So
No
I'm like,
fucking
yeah,
way.
he got fired. So I'm like, oh no, I'm leaving. So when I tried to leave, they were like, you only have 1 year left. We're not going to release you. If you do, you got to sit out another year. I'm like, what the hell? So I was like, nope.
I don't think that's true though, because you didn't compete. I think if you don't compete that prior.
I competed that year because that was the second year. So that was after my second year. Going into my third year, I wanted to leave, which was only my last year. Yeah.
So how'd you like the new coach?
I didn't really fuck with him.
Yeah.
I could tell he wasn't like.
That's okay. I mean, it's not okay for you in that moment, but it's okay to say that because
he
didn't recruit you.
I was older too, so a lot of people on the team were much younger, so I could read through his bullshit. I could read him.
Yeah.
He came from Southern Illinois University. I could tell I can read people, so I can know who knows their shit or don't. He didn't give me the confidence that I can trust in him as a coach, so it wasn't really.
How did you deal with the firing of the previous coach? I forget his name. My apologies.
His name was Coach O'Neal.
O'Neal.
I was sad. He was like my father figure. He recruited me and gave me the opportunity, so I was really sad about what happened.
Especially with your coach being fired, I feel like you could have got a hardship to get that way. But I took the deep breath because there's just so much, and I hate to say luck, but there's so much luck that goes into just success at that level of sports, because something like that's completely out of your control can deter your whole fucking career. You know what I mean? Like, and we just don't talk about that enough. It's like, damn, this coach either I thought you were gonna say he left and got a new job, because I kind of could tell you were leading up to him getting up out of there, but I didn't know he got fired. That's even worse. You know what I mean? But so I can only imagine what you're going through at that moment. As far as professional for track, it's more than just the Olympics, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the end goal, but Olympics happen every 4 years, so there's like Diamond League meets that happen on the European big stage. There's Worlds that happens is Worlds every year? Yeah, I believe Worlds is every year or every 2 years. Worlds that happens every year in different countries. I think they just did Worlds in Oregon this year. And so, there's different large meets that happen throughout the year. How
do you compete? You don't compete on a team in those? These are just individual?
Worlds, the goal is to make a team. So they have USA trials. USA trials, of course, what would lead to make you on the team.
The USA team.
Yeah, they put you on the USA team.
Got you. And then those kind of prepare for the Olympics every 4 years.
And then all the other, for Diamond League meets and stuff, that's individual. So, if you have a Nike, Adidas contract, whatever that is, you represent underneath those.
Wow. So let's say if you don't make the Worlds, or if you don't make, what is it called? The Diamond?
So Diamond, you don't make a team. It's just a qualifying meet. So it's
and then you get picked up by shoe companies and stuff.
You'd already be picked up by shoe company by the time you get there, or you can get a deal after if you run.
But what I'm trying to figure out is like, what's the middle ground for that? Like,
standard. You have to have a qualifying time. You have to have hit that time throughout that year to be able to get you into those meets.
But where are you running though? Like, who are you running for? Let's say after college. Where do I go? What team do I go run for?
You can just be individual. You can run individual. Yeah.
So how do you get into the meet? You just sign up?
Yep, you sign up. You get registered into those meets. You pay a fee, or whether you have a good coach that can get you into those meets.
And there's just random meets all over.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And if you have a qualifying time on a sanctioned
those meets.
event, then that makes sense. I never knew how that worked.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Senior year, how did your senior year go as far as?
Senior year, actually, the funny thing is, like, I mean, we had school records. So even my first year running with the coach who brought me in, we broke school records. I think even my senior year, we broke school records. So, I mean, I think I personal record underneath him and stuff like that. But, I feel like I should have been doing better. I should have been easily running 22s. I should have easily been.
What is 22s?
So, like in my 200, I think my PR was like a 23-1. I feel like I should have been a 22-7, 22-8 type of person. For my 100, my PR was 11-3. I easily should have been an easily 11-1 individual. So 11-0, hopefully. So I feel like those are times I should have ran.
That makes sense. I don't understand what's slow and what's fast in that.
Those are pretty fast at that.
I'm obviously Division I. I mean, that says a lot. At this point, you changed your major a few times. What were some of your early majors?
I came in as political science.
Was that just like an athlete thing?
That's what my dad wanted me to do, so I did political science.
And you just wasn't feeling that?
Yeah, I wasn't finishing those classes, long hours and stuff. Ooh, my eyelashes, I'm sorry.
And then, you good?
But I love to learn it, but it was just like, that's a class that they put everybody in. So then actually after that, I went to general studies. I'm like, I went from political science to general studies, which is another thing they tried to put all the athletes in. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. And then I switched to integrated marketing communications.
And that's kind of what you do now. Mm-hmm. And then, so how long after your senior year did you attempt to, did you try to go pro in track at all?
So senior year, I did go to, right after my senior year, I went to Nigeria. It was Olympic year. So I tried for the Olympic team, and I made the Nigerian Olympic team.
Oh, wow. That's dope.
Yeah.
So did you get a chance to run with them?
No.
Why? I mean, if you want to share.
Yeah, I don't mind. Oh, no, I qualified, of course, and everything like that. So Nigeria is a really political place. At that time, they were telling athletes to pay for their own flights. So that whole year, if you Google it, like 2016 Rio, Nigeria scandal, they were telling athletes to buy their own flights. They weren't trying to come out of pocket and buy the stuff for us. They were literally so many athletes that were doing GoFundMes. Like,
really?
So
what was going on at that moment to make them want to do that?
These people get into positions, they want to pocket the money. So that's really what that was. And so they ended up, so I was an alternate. So, they take the top 4, and then the other 2 people are now alternates. So I think I was like 5th or 6th, I can't remember. So I got my kit, all the articles came out about me going and everything. And then they decided they weren't taking any alternates.
What? Mm-hmm. That's terrible. How did you deal with that?
I was kind of bummed out. I was like, damn, that's fucking sucks, whatever. But I was like, all right, well, whatever. Shit happens. That's life, whatever. I really wish I had this opportunity, but I was like, it is what it is.
And then did you go immediately into working?
Yeah.
And
so I was working for Img Marketing at Cal Berkeley. So I did that.
So you moved back home?
Mm-hmm. So funny thing is, like, Img Marketing, I actually had an internship with them my senior year. So senior year, I was already prepping. Like, I already knew, like, even if I was going to do track, I was still going to have a career. Like, I knew how life was going to be. So, that internship turned into an actual job at UC Berkeley. Yeah, I was training while doing that at that point. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing. A lot of people, when they run track, if you don't got Allison Felix contracts or Usain Bolt, you're working. A lot of my track friends, they have normal jobs. They have careers on top of doing all that. I applied for, I was working on, I had 2 jobs. I had 2 jobs at college. I was working with Img Marketing and with the Raiders on game days only. And so then I applied for my master's program. And so I got into my master's, and I was like, all right, okay.
And where'd you go for that?
University of San Francisco, but they had a campus in LA.
And that's what made you move to LA? Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know that.
That and a job.
With the Clippers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So what exactly do you do, just for people out there? Like, what exactly do you do for a living? Like,
Oof. I do a lot.
What are your titles or roles like early on? That's kind of what I'm asking.
That time? Okay, that time I was a sales associate in corporate partnership sales. Corporate partnership associate and a sales associate. So I was corporate partnership with the Raiders, and then Cal property associate.
But what did you have to do?
So then I was pretty much just like when I was at Berkeley, I was helping with like their sponsorship. So yeah, everything I was doing at that time was sponsorship. So Cal had so many different like local sponsorships. They had larger ones. Like I think BMW was one of theirs. Ford. What were some? Then the local ones, I can't even think of their names, whatever. So I was helping with that. So let's say game days are coming in, they have a tent, they need seats, making sure that everybody has their seats, making sure that their sponsorship titles are showing on the Megatrons in the game, how long they're showing, little things like that and stuff, and just entertaining the sponsors, making sure when they come through these tents, they're taken care of and everything is good for them. So I did that. And the same thing I was doing for the Raiders on game days, corporate partnership, attending to like their clients, like Hawaiian Airlines. That was one that I definitely remembered. AT&T. Yeah, so just attending to those and, just is really just like talking to people, building these relationships with them, getting to know them, making sure that they're good at the games. And so I did that. And then I got into my master's program. And so when I moved to LA for the Clippers, I was doing inside sales. I was doing sales with them. And so inside sales, if that's like selling season tickets, I'm hustling, investing, trying to get these people to come out to get to some Clipper games.
Right. And at this point, this is like around what year?
2016 or 17.
So you've been in LA for a minute now.
5 years now.
Damn. Do you see yourself moving back?
To where?
Here.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
You plan on staying in LA?
No, I don't know. I'd just be in LA. I don't. Gosh, it's so crazy. I like the South. I like Texas. I like North Carolina. I love Tennessee. Places like that.
So that's where you think you might like if you could pick today where you're gonna live for good. What would that be? If you know.
And buy a house.
Mm-hmm. Like where you're settled. Like this is where I'm at. My new home.
Tennessee.
Really?
But I'd have to be like married and shit like that. Like,
why Tennessee though? What is the connection?
I like Tennessee.
Is it because your sister went there? So
it's so peaceful. My friend's dad, I'll never forget when I was in college, my friend's dad had a house in Chattanooga and we'd go up there. He built his own house, had so much land, just peaceful, just away from all the chaos and stuff like that. Like if I move there, I have to know that I'm done with the career that I'm in and I'm literally just like, able to do that from far away and just focusing on my family.
Do you offer any of your like services like freelance or like through your own business?
I stopped all that now. So when you ask for my title, so currently right now I work at a digital agency as well as an advertising agency. And so for the digital agency, I'm a social media manager. I got promoted to digital marketing manager. And then for my other job, I'm a social strategist. So, yeah, so I was actually doing those freelance. And so it was becoming a lot. I had clients. And so I just noticed, like, I actually want to get out from social media. So
it's just so draining.
Yeah, I love my own personal, but when you got to do it for other people, it just like... It's a lot. It's really a lot. So I actually stepped away from doing that like the top of this year. And, missed the money and stuff, but it'll come back on a different end of things.
Yeah.
So
I just recently hired my social media manager probably. She started posting for me like in June. Okay. And it's made a huge difference.
Yeah.
But I mean, me being a one-man army, it's like that was my biggest struggle. It's like I have to film this shit. I have to edit it. And then I have to make the trailers to promote it. And then it's like, I have to make, like, my thing is the continuous post. Like, the good thing for her is I had her go back through all of my old content and just, like, watch it through, take clips of it. But now what I do for my new stuff, so what I would do now what I do is when I'm editing these videos down, I'll take
the clip you want.
Yeah, I'll put them into a long clip, so it'll be, like, maybe 20 minutes of clips separated by little gaps. And then that way she can just take those and dress it up a little bit, you know what I mean? It makes her job a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And I'm all about working smarter, not harder. So I just figure if I can take a step out of it from you. But she's also in the meantime still looking back on my old stuff and pulling clips from that. So that's good. It's been, like I said, it's been going well, and it's been fine. I have no complaints. But I need to find, like, because she really just does like my TikTok, my Instagram.
Oh, you have a TikTok too? For
my channel, yeah.
Oh, cool.
I don't even know how to work TikTok. She does all of that shit.
You should figure it out.
Yeah, I know. I get overwhelmed with social media, period. I hate it. Like,
Same.
if I didn't need it for my stuff, I wouldn't even have it. Yeah. It's like, whatever. I barely post anyway. I'm trying to get into the habit of posting more, but that's dope, man. So how does it feel like? It has to be annoying, like, because most of us use social media for fun, but for you, it seems like work when you're doing it for clients.
It actually doesn't, because I'm just so used to it. Yeah. It doesn't feel too much like work. So for my job, I'm cool with it. Like, I run like different platforms, so the clients are cool and stuff like that. So I've gotten used to it. So
is it frustrating how fast it's like? It could be one trend this day and the next day is something else. Like TikTok came out of fucking nowhere, and it's like now everybody has to learn this shit. Yeah,
well, thank God with that client, we're not using TikTok because it's a government platform, so I always thank God to that. But it's like, I always have to stay on top of these trends. Like we said, like Reels, like Instagram is no longer prioritizing normal content. Like everything has to be into Reels. So it's like, weekly reading like The Verge and seeing what's changing, what these trends are, and just keeping up with them.
Yeah. What's some advice you can give to a young Nigerian girl?
I think definitely just, figuring out what you want to do and, just honing in on those skills of what you want to do, not taking no for an answer, positioning yourself right at a young age, making sure you're connecting with the right people and stuff, and just trying to figure it out. I just think you have to just figure it out on your own, honestly. For every person, it just kind of varies. So.
We get so caught up in living for our parents and people around us and trying to reach their thought of success for us. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like doing that, you'll lose yourself. So I think it's important to, like you said, figure out what you really want to do, what you deem as successful, like what your goals are, and do the things that it takes to get there. So I think that's pretty profound. Definitely. But man, this was dope, man. So is there anything you want to leave us with before we sign this out, man?
No, nothing. I'm so shy and nervous.
Oh my God. You can't be now. I
really tell myself,
almost an hour in.
Crazy thing is I really tell myself is like, I'm so social, but when it comes to doing stuff like this, like I really be like kind of nervous. Like another thing, like I haven't discussed this part. That's why I was like, we done yet? I work in entertainment. I work in music.
Oh, so
wow. A lot of stuff that I do be behind the scenes. Like a lot of the artists that I
don't think I knew that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Oh, okay. A lot of the artists.
If I knew that, I would have asked.
So there was I guess we didn't go through all my jobs that I've been through over the years, whatever. So a lot of stuff that I do is like behind the scenes and stuff. So I told myself like, all right, Khadija, you know what you want to do now. Like, I'm really like working towards my goals now. Like I told you, when I said last week, I'm dead ass serious. Like last week I was like, all right, Khadija, this is what the hell you about to do. All right, this is what you about to do. So I was like, all right, I got to hit up Justin. I got to go claim my throne. I got to claim my secret throne out here, right? So, yeah, was that after the Clippers? So I guess we'll go back. So, worked at the Clippers, worked with the Chargers. After that point on, I worked in entertainment. So I worked for a management company where I worked with like Leela James, Lettucey, K. Michelle, Maxwell, NDIRE, doing their day-to-day management. So that was kind of like my segue into music. At that point, I knew like, okay, entertainment is kind of where I want to be, and I want to focus on this side of things. And so I also had a cousin that was in entertainment. He was giving me concert passes and stuff like this, and I was like, yo, this is pretty hot. This is what I want to do.
Wait, so how did that opportunity come with you working with those artists?
I was doing digital marketing with another man that had an agency. I was doing freelance digital marketing with him, and he gave me the opportunity to work at this management company.
And now, so is that kind of what you want to do? You want to manage artists?
Manage artists, A&R, marketing, strategy, all of it.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So would you do that as far as like your own business and freelance, or would you want to go under a more corporate company?
Underneath the company. I don't think I want to.
Are you already working for a company, or are you
freelance with a couple people, work with a couple people?
That's what's up. That's dope. I
got to actually CCAP tomorrow.
Right.
So that's not the reason why I'm out here in the Bay Area, but
that's what's up. I've been saying that, like, I want to, because I love the content creation side of it, and I was saying like I want to, once I get everything because I have so much going on right now, once I get everything settled and my schedule kind of levels out, I want to get next to an artist and help them as well, just because I went to school for PR and marketing also. So I have that side of me, but even it's crazy because I never thought I would be using that degree because I like to write. So it's more so like journalism and stuff like that. But I mean, I had to promote my own channel and shit like that. So I use a lot of those skills I learned. But I was saying I want to get next to artists too. So that's dope to hear that you're pursuing that.
Yeah,
that's fire.
I'm trying to be the next hottest, and I don't like to limit myself. But there's two genres that I'm very passionate about. All right, I'm very passionate about Afrobeats because that's my roots, that's my home, and also hip hop. And when I mean hip hop, I mean like focusing on Bay Area talent. I'm from home. I see a lot of things that goes on out here, and I'd be like, yo, what is this motherfucker rapping about? Like, if you just change this, appeal to a wider audience, like that can make such a huge difference. And so I'm here to, start honing in on the Bay Area artists and see what they got going and seeing how I can help elevate them to the next level.
That's dope.
I was telling my cousin, I was like, who are the A&Rs out here? He was naming them. I was like, who are the female A&Rs? He didn't really name, I think he named anybody, but, I knew like, she's like the VP, I believe, Tina Davis at Empire. I think she's originally from the Bay Area. Honestly, she was the only one I can think of. I could be wrong, don't hold me to it, but that's the only person I can think of. So I told my cousin, like, I want to be the next A&R out from the Bay Area. And so
if you had it your way, would you take, because you're essentially doing the same thing that you're doing for these corporate companies, but you're just honing it into like obviously a musical artist. So if you had it your way, would you just leave that side alone and focus strictly on music?
Yeah.
Really? That's dope. That's dope.
I would, yeah. But the music industry is such a
fickle
weird place and shit like that. So
even the entertainment period.
Entertainment, honestly, that's really what it is.
It's like it's so hard, and like a lot of the people I watch and study just and being a student of this game is just, it's so hard for people to get to where they're trying to get to and keeping their morals and integrity intact. And I really stand on that. Like, I'm not doing this shit to be clickbaitish. I don't want my guests to feel uncomfortable. I don't want to talk about the wild, raunchy, crazy shit. I just want to hear people's story. And it's really to focus on like the mindset and the pivotal moments of their life. Like, what were you going through in that moment when you made that decision? Like, why that? You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I was gonna say, because there's like a whole bunch of other podcasts that they were trying to like get to the message, get the clickbait stuff, like the hot shit,
exactly.
Like
and
that.
It's like, no, I'm not with that. So I feel you on that. But yeah, I don't fuck with that shit at all. I hate it. I despise
That's
it.
good. Person of morals. That's what.
For
everybody.
But I mean, it makes the road tougher though. But I love it because I'm self-taught, so I make a lot of mistakes even to this day. But I'm able to iron those mistakes out before my platform gets to a certain. And
that's good. Taking accountability. I feel like life would be so much more easy. I was like, taking accountability. You know what kind of person you're dealing with when you hear somebody take accountability.
Exactly.
Do that.
For sure. I mean, shit, I monetized my channel in 2 years, and that was a big fucking deal for me. You know what I mean? Like, and I had all these people in my ear, like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? It's like, bro, you're not walking in this on this journey with me. You don't understand what I'm dealing with being up all night. But yeah, man, that's dope. So what else you got? What other surprises you got over there for me?
I think that's about it.
That's about it.
Just trying to let the people know,
No, that's.
Be on the lookout.
To be honest, I didn't even. I always tell people, when you text me, like, this is obviously my stuff, but it's like I started this to talk to my peers. You know what I mean? Of course, I want to get to a point where I'm interviewing big celebrities and all that, but it's like the purpose of me starting this show was to talk about the stories of the people who aren't super famous and celebs, because we all went through shit. We all had dreams of being at especially on the athletic side or musical artists, but it's like how our stories are more relatable than the big superstars to the audience. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, how do I tell those stories? So when people reach out to me, it's always like, hell yeah, whenever you're ready. So I don't even care what you want to come down for. Yeah. And especially people like you, I've been known for so many years, but we have never had this. We've had.
I'd be like, damn, you ain't know this about me?
Yeah, but you wouldn't. It's like.
You don't really get to know people.
Exactly. Like when are you afforded the opportunity to ask, other than even with Killer, he just left. I've been knowing this dude since I was probably for as long as I can remember, and it was hella shit I didn't know about him. But that's why I love doing this. You know what I mean? And I can always pull inspiration from those stories though. Yeah. So I appreciate you coming down, man. We got to do this again.
I agree.
The more we get to different heights, man, just whenever you got some shit to come talk, just hit me.
I will.
All right.
Will. Yeah.
All right, appreciate you. Thanks. That's a wrap.